These are my guys right here.
This is a video about cheese, which is not only the most interesting food we eat, but also an incredible vehicle for better understanding the current state of the world. Welcome to episode 3 of Comfort Food.
I'll carry it all for you. It's just what I'll do.
This story starts in September 2019 when the good folks at Roth Cheese invited me to Wisconsin for a cheese tour. Now here's the thing, I went to the cheese capital of the USA with zero understanding of how cheese was made, but in the process I learned, and it's something that I've thought about a lot since.
I'm in Wisconsin, and we're gonna be learning about cheese here. This is where the whole process starts with the cows.
We're about to add our resin coagulation process. So this is what a vat full of milk looks like. We have curves and waving stirred around and separated, so you can see a little teeth curve in there in the
Now going down to the basement of the cheese room right now.
And why do we need salt in the cheese? She mentioned it. One thing is preservation, so with salt is a good preservative. The other thing is we want to have a rind formation, so the cheese should get stable. Before it's weak and soft, and now it's hard. And something else, flavor. I mean, cook something without salt, it's a huge difference.
Wow. So this is where the cheese is aged, in here. So each one of these is 16 pounds. And they go like 4 back.
Cheese making is a fermentation process, just like bread and beer and wine and soy sauce and sauerkraut and kimchi and a host of other things. Fermentation is a process through which microorganisms change the properties of a food or drink. Now there are 3 variables to making cheese. 1 is the animal that produces the milk, 2 is the bacteria that interacts with the milk, and 3 is the human process through which the cheese is made. This is the key takeaway of this video. 3 naturally occurring things interact with each other to create something entirely new. And all 3 of these variables differ from around the world, which is why there are so many different types of cheeses. Just think about it. Cows in Italy and cows in Wisconsin are eating 2 different types of grass, which is why those cheeses taste different. The other day, I spoke with my friend Steve about cheese for like 3 hours. I wanted to talk to him because one of his favorite ingredients is cheese, and I needed someone to explain the mysterious 5th taste, umami.
Steve Casado, I'm the host and creator of Not Another Cooking Show, which is a 2-year-old cooking show, just hit 200 episodes on YouTube, and my main goal is to just make sure you're better at cooking today than you were yesterday. This is a really special cheese. You asked me about umami, and like this is something that has an overwhelmingly large amount in it compared to lots of other foods. The way that umami works is that there's literally amino acids in foods called glutamates, right? And Parmesan cheese has a large amount of glutamates. And our tongue have receptors for glutamates, which basically tells our brain, wow, this is really delicious. We literally have receptors in our brain to attach to these things that are in this food. And that's where this kind of 5th taste that they say umami comes from, this savory taste. I think in Japanese, umami means like savory taste, like tasting good or something like that. And it's literally just this really rounded flavor. I mean, even when you eat a piece of Parmesan cheese like this, if you roll it on your tongue and you think about it, your tongue's like going crazy. It's almost like a firework as you bite into it. That is the essence of umami and deliciousness. Like this is a complicated flavor, and that is just the world of Parmesan cheese. And now you want to go and break that down between cheddars and blue cheeses. It's, you know what I mean? The world gets so overwhelming that I can't blame the average person for just like not fully understanding all of it. Like I have trouble fully understanding it.
All right, back to the central question. How does cheese explain the current state of the world? Well, we have to go back and do a little cheese history. Cheese was invented in Mesopotamia thousands and thousands of years ago, like 8,000 BC. Before the wheel was invented, people were drinking goat's milk and sheep's milk, and they would keep it sitting around in these pottery containers. And one day, I guess, somewhere along the line, someone left the pot out in the sun, it heated up, the cheese curdled, and someone decided to eat it, and they said, wow, this tastes pretty good. And then they took that further, they salted it, they aged it, and they were able to save this valuable source of nutrition for longer periods of time. Fast forward, civilization spreads out all over the place, and monks start making cheese. They take their jobs very seriously, and I guess they're pretty bored, they have lots of time on their hands, so they take cheese making to the next level and invent many of the varieties of cheese that we still eat today. As a matter of fact, many of the same techniques of cheese making are still used to this day, save for some of the technology, some of the machines that they're using. It's pretty much the same techniques that were developed in the Middle Ages with monks. Cheese making is extremely process oriented, which is why you have people who do it for their entire lives. But this is also what makes cheese special. It's handmade by experts from all over the world. So why do I still feel like we take cheese for granted? As a society, we think of cheese as this packaged, mass-produced thing that lines grocery refrigerators. Is this why we take it for granted? Or is it because it's such a part of our lives that we don't even think about it? It's served for breakfast, lunch, and dinner all over the world. How is it?
Yeah, nice and salty.
For real?
Great crisp. Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
How's the cheese?
Cheese is great, nice and sharp.
You're not just saying that.
No.
Hey Jack, what's up? This is Adri from Colombia, and we're making arepas with a lot of cheese. So basically, arepas are made with corn, and then you put cheese inside, but you can fill them with meat or whatever you want.
La pizza della nonna, Gramma Pizza. E questo è il risultato finale.
All right, so one thing I would have at least 4 times a week is toast, avocado, and a fried egg. It's so simple. We get lots of Parmesan cheese. I mean, that's really the most important part of this thing.
Humans have been making this stuff for 10,000 years using the same basic process, a process that's kind of magic. The planet, animals, humans, all working together in harmony. To me, there's something incredible about the fact that people have been making and eating the same food for 10,000 years. It sort of puts things in perspective and is, in a way, comforting. Until next time.
I'll carry it all for you.
Go.
All right.
No, you can't say before you've even tasted it. You don't even know if it's good. You're saying you haven't even tried it yet. Honest review. Oh,
A little bland.
a little bland? Well, you just ate the end. You didn't even eat the...
Okay.
Brutal.
It's me, to be honest.
That's terrible.